All right. So you already heard my little rant about how happy I was. Actually, I was more happy about the Packers getting embarrassed than I was about the Bears being a terrible Giants team. But I just want to reiterate my whole diatribe that I had last week. Apparently, Coach Nagy was listening because the first half of the Bears game today involved the same nonsense. We're going to hand the ball off. When we do throw the ball, we're going to throw the ball to the receiver. To the running back, and let him do his thing. Hopefully, he gets 10 yards, and that's what the first half of the Bears game went. So what I'm assuming is somebody pointed him towards my video and heard what I had to say during halftime, because in the second half, they stopped doing all that. They actually started throwing the ball down the field. They actually said, okay, we have a receiver named Allen Robinson who knows how to catch a ball more than 10 yards down the field and do something with it when he's done. We have a running back named Tariq Cohen that is a lot like Alvin Kamara for the Saints, that if you can get him open in space, he can do stuff with the ball. Because that's what they did. The Bears did that. Mitchell Trubisky threw the ball to talented receivers and running backs further than the line of scrimmage. And that happened. And guess what? Miraculously, that resulted in first downs and touchdowns offensively. Like, we didn't get touchdowns because of our defense. We actually got touchdowns because of our offense. Mitchell Trubisky, out of North Carolina, actually threw the ball to receivers. He actually let it go and was like, "Oh man, I have a guy over here who's open, and I can just throw it to him and let him do some damage." That actually happened today. So what I can take from that is that Coach Nagy, who was never a head coach before, was with Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, and all the good stuff. I feel like someone tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, look at this video from this one guy. He might have something to say." And he watched it, and he said, "You know what? Maybe we should throw the ball more than 10 yards down the field. Maybe we should involve some offensive players that aren't running backs or tight ends. Like, we have wide receivers on the roster. Maybe we should use those guys. Maybe they could go further than 10 yards down the field and get open and catch a ball and do something with it." That's a novel idea. Maybe this ain't the 1920s. Maybe this is the current NFL, where we are a passing league and we can utilize our wide receivers. I don't know. Maybe it didn't have anything to do with me at all. Maybe somebody in that organization understood that the same way I do and told the coach, "Hey, coach, we have wide receivers for a reason. They don't just go out into the flat, catch a ball, and hopefully we can do something with it. They're not down with 2 or 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Like, this guy can actually throw the ball. Let's let him do that and see what the fuck happens." Like, it can't be any worse than what's been happening already, right? It can't be worse than that. Let's just see what happens. Well, Coach Nagy said, "All right, let's see." And guess what? Mitchell Trubisky threw the ball. It's a football. It's wrapped in pigskin. It has white laces on it. It's the same ball that every other quarterback in the league uses. They said, go ahead and throw this to our wide receivers. And guess what happened? They caught the ball. They made plays. They moved the chains. They got us down the field. And as a result, we got touchdowns. We scored points. We scored points. We didn't just punt the ball. So, I'm not so presumptive to think that I'm the one that had any kind of impact. No. Matt Nagy is not just searching YouTube and finding random fans. Somebody in that organization got in his ear and said, let this man throw the ball. It can't be any worse than what we're doing right now. And it happened. So, hopefully, going forward, that continues. I mean, we put a beat down on the Giants. And I don't even want to say beat down. Like, it came down to the end of the game against the Giants. The New York Football Giants. They don't even have a real starting quarterback. Like, can anybody that's not a real aficionado tell me who the starting quarterback is for the Giants? Don't worry, I'll wait. Thank you. None of you know. None of you know unless you're, like, on it. Fantasy football, ESPN, like, analyst. Regular football fan has no idea who's throwing the football for the Giants. And we still barely held on to beat them. So it's not like we turned a page or we're, like, going in this different direction and all of a sudden we're going on this run. I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying they told Mitchell Trubisky, you have guys out here on the line that are wide receivers. That is what they get paid to do. They're wide receivers. They're not running backs. They're not tight ends. They're not some weird fat lineman that gets up in a weird formation and catches the ball. They're wide receivers. They run out and catch the ball further than 10 yards down the field. And it worked. Guess what? It worked. So hopefully moving forward, whoever put that bug in Nagy's ear and said, remember what was working in Kansas City? This can work here too. Hopefully that still resonates. Because unless we go back to the regular thing, I mean, it's just going to be the same fucking page. It's going to be the same page. So I'm hoping that we use that JV team known as the New York Football Giants as a testing ground to understand what it's like to actually have a passing game. Other than that, defense showed up. Khalil Mack showed how badass of a player he is. And we can go on. If they lose the rest of the games, then I guess I'm going to say I wish we would have lost this game because then we'd have a higher draft pick and get a real quarterback. But for now, going to stay positive and hope that Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky can understand the value of a wide receiver and we can keep it going. So outside of that, nothing but love.